The kestrels are what I'm looking at.
Let's take a look at those kestrels.
You can't even see any of their faces.
Well, they're huddled up.
No.
And what we can see here is then their second coat of down. So when kestrels first hatch, they're very white. But at this point, they've got their grey down coat, which is much thicker and is insulating them. They've been feeding furiously all day. They want to put all of that energy into growth, not thermoregulation.
So now, let's have a look at our wildlife cameras and see some of our birds of prey live. Let's have a look at our kestrel box now and see what's going on in there. Oh, look at them. So we've got, how many chicks have we got in there? We've got 6, haven't we? And one smaller one. But we would expect that, wouldn't we?
Yeah, they hatch asynchronously, so they don't, you know, they don't leave all of their eggs and then start incubating at the end. They start incubating before they finish the clutch, which means that we see some of those that have been incubated longer hatching earlier. And oh, look, I haven't noticed this. For the first time, you can see some of the feathers coming through the down there on the back of that bird. So this is their second thick, grey down coat, but already look, you can, and they're on the bottom side where the wing is. So I hadn't noticed that earlier today. So that must be one of the more advanced chicks, and they're going to be in the nest for about 35, 37 days.
And they have been feeding really well. I mean, we've seen the parents, but they've been bringing in sand lizards, mice, rats.
Rare reptiles feeding to kestrels. Outrageous.
The kestrel chicks have to eat, Chris.
Yeah, no, they do, of course, yeah, that's right.
And the other day, did you see they brought in a live vole? Sadly, that live vole is no more, but amazing to watch.
Well, not the voles weren't enjoying it quite as much as we were. I mean, yeah, these things happen. Normally, they dispatch their prey so that it's easier to carry. They don't want to be carrying something that's alive, you know, fighting back. So they're normally quite good, but obviously in the rush to feed all of those young, they didn't quite finish, you know, dispatching that vole, and it was brought into the nest alive. But yeah, I saw a skylark in there the other day. The very, very broad range of prey.
But we have cameras on 2 other raptor nests as well. So let's go live straight away to the kestrels to see what's going on. Oh, wow, we've got the adult female in, feeding the young. And the young are growing really well. 5 young in there now, of course. You see the feathers starting to emerge. They look like the female for the first few months of life, and a lot of those, I reckon they'll be in there for another, what, 10 days maybe, Chris?
Yeah.
Something like that?
Yeah.
But we've had a lot of drama this week, so let's just catch up with the start of the week, 26th of May. We had 6 chicks in there, one quite a bit smaller, the runt. The nest box you see there on a building here on RSPB Arne Reserve, and you see the youngster between the adult's leg. It's a feisty little thing. It's not going to give up. It's going to fight for survival. And they brought in a variety of food. I think that might have been a thrush, actually. Bringing in a slow worm. Look at that. And I bet he entered that hole as well. Brought in a lot of voles, of course. They're vole specialists. Good vole habitat around here. And a sand lizard. Nothing is sacrosanct for these kestrels. And the male comes in. And that's a bank fall, I think, but they got a little bit more than they bargained for with this one here, because that bank fall actually is not quite dead. They start to peck at it slowly. See, it's still breathing. Now, I half thought that the vole might just get up and run out, but oh no, they started to peck at it again. But the youngster, it bit the youngster on the talon, but it didn't make it, unfortunately, and it was soon dispatched. One of the chicks just took it down and ate it whole. See the youngster still battling away there. And they brought in a shrew, the adults, as well. Now, not many predators will take on shrews because it doesn't taste too good. And watch the reaction of this chick. Shakes its head, really doesn't like what it's eating. A bit like me eating lettuce. And has another peck. And eventually it thinks, right, enough's enough. It's all going down in one. And down in one it does go too. Well-fed chicks, good parents, these 2. There they are, looking out. And of course, by the 29th of May, the youngster wasn't looking very good at all, couldn't open its eyes. Poor little thing. And when we went over there at the end of Wednesday, we saw that it really was on its last legs. It's still alive, barely. They slept overnight, and when we came in and saw the cameras again the next morning, when the adults came in and the chicks cleared, we could see that poor thing hadn't made it. It was dead. But waste not, want not is the motto of nature, so the adult tears it up and feeds it to the youngsters, and eventually absolutely nothing goes to waste, and it shared it between the siblings.
You did, and they're all looking very healthy, so we'll keep our eyes on those, of course, next week. One thing we should mention is the smell of a kestrel's nest.
Oh,
Isn't it
stinks.
Glorious.
You can find the nest just by smelling it.
I love that musty sort of
no,
meaty
no.
bird
You can
smell.
I thought, okay, is that your Eau Sauvage?
I'm wearing
Nest de Kestrel.
I've got the kestrel on.
Oh,
tonight,
good man. Well done.
Now, Sarah, what are we going to go to first?
I think we should go to the kestrel chicks. We last saw them on Friday, and as you can see, they've changed quite a lot since then. Their feathers are starting to come through. There are 5 there. You can't quite see them. There's one more buried in the back there. But they've been spending a lot of time in the front of the nest box today in anticipation for food. They're starting to get a bit territorial over food, sort of mantling and things like that. But yes, you can see that their feathers are coming through really nicely. I think they look rather majestically messy.
Majestically messy. I'll live with that. They're absolutely fantastic, those young kestrels.
OK, let's have a quick look at our live nest once more before the end of the show. I'm going to take you to the kestrel. Let's have... I love this. I mean, they're really doing well, Chris, aren't they? They're growing. You can see their feathers are coming out. I don't think we're going to see them fledge, but they are going to be bursting out of that nest box because they are growing every day and being fed really well. Lovely to see them.
The feathers coming through there. We've just got time to show you this. OK, let's take a look at our live nests now. Got some of them here. Oyster catcher, still incubating there, look. Barn owl at the top. They've got young. Let's go to our kestrels, though. There, things look quite calm in the kestrel's nest at the moment. Look at that individual. You can see very clearly side on there the way that those juvenile feathers are coming through. When they initially fledge, they look a lot more like the female than the male. And that is, relatively, a picture of serenity in the nest because we've been watching them throughout the course of the day and their behaviour is very different. So there they are on the left, 28th of May, just a few days ago, covered in that grey down coat. Packed into that box now, 5 surviving chicks. Every time the adult comes in, it's a tug of war over the prey, desperate to eat as much as they possibly can. Eventually, one of them gets it, finds a corner, mantles it with their wings, keeping all of the others away, shielding them from that prey so that it can eat it itself. Quite interesting that the adults are bringing in less prey now than they were a few days ago. The growth rate of these birds has slowed down. And of course, overnight, they forgive all of their boisterous behaviour during the course of the day, and they'll snuggle up to keep warm in the back of that nest. And look at that, absolutely delightful. Unless your brother or sister is practising flying for the weeks ahead, which could be quite irritating.
It's absolute mayhem in there, isn't it? I mean, when they all start flapping, they're just going to be bursting out, but really lovely to see them. Let's have a look at the kestrels, because every time I come in here, I've really enjoyed this nest at the moment, because you've got these kestrels just peeking out. They are also really ready to fledge. Oh, hello, that one looks a bit bizarre. And I'm going to take you back to what they were like a couple of weeks ago, because it's unbelievable, the change. I mean, look at them. And look at them now, the 9th of June. Obviously, they've grown. The adult feathers are coming. They're very noisy. They're flapping away. Every time a parent bird comes in, it just seems like mayhem, feathers flying everywhere. And then there's a right old squabble inside to try and get a little bit of food. But as I say, they're ready to go. They're literally falling out of that nest box. So predictions, Sarah, what do you reckon?
Thursday.
Thursday? You're going for Thursday? OK. Joe?
Wednesday.
Wednesday?
Noon.
Okay, Wednesday noon. I've got to go for tomorrow then. I know that's totally wrong, but that's what I'm going to go for. Well, from technology back to a big smile, because we're on a fledge fest today, let me tell you. We've had the reed warblers, we've had Sid, and now the kestrels. I'm going to take you first live to the kestrel nest. This might surprise you because it's not completely empty. Look at it looking at us. There are 2 kestrels still in the nest box. So that means 3 have gone, 2 are left. But you can see they're still keen, they're still looking out onto the horizon. But let's have a look at what happened when those 3 decided to go. This morning at 7:03, all 5 were in the box.
I just love that view. I couldn't get enough of it. They're all there, they're all keen to go, they're all looking out. We saw loads of wing flapping. We knew that they were going to go in the next day or two, and one went. Now, you may think that's the first one. That was actually the second one. So that was at 12:58. The second one went. The first one had already gone. 1:06, the third fledged. And then, there we go. There are 3 of them. And I got so excited. I was actually having my lunch at about 1 o'clock. So I thought, let's go and see them, because it's very near where we were having lunch.
Salad.
So I rushed out to have a look myself.
Small salad.
So the kestrels are fledging, which is really exciting because we didn't see them fledge last year. And I've absolutely loved watching these kestrel chicks peeking their little heads out. Hi, James. Oh, look, 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 look. This one there. He looks a bit confused, doesn't quite know what to do. Come on, flap those wings, you need to go. It's great to see them actually finally out of that box. I mean, they've been spilling out for the last few days. One apparently is in the barn with the pigs. One is just behind this trailer. One's on the floor. So there are still 2 left in the box. There's one that's much smaller. Oh, come on, I want to see you come out. Oh, look. This is the first steps. There wasn't much stepping and walking going on in that box, not with all 5 of them squashed in there. So obviously it's just not only learning to fly, also learning how to walk about. Must be such a relief to be out of that stinky old box. Oh, look, there it goes, there it goes. Oh, no, don't go back in, are you mad? Oh, they're calling that one that's still in the box. You can do it. Come on, flap those wings, come on. And at the end there, you saw the adult come back in to the 2 chicks that are left in the box. So we're keeping our eye on those because I doubt they're going to come out once the light starts to go. So it'll probably be tomorrow morning.
OK, we've got a lot of nests to get through tonight because we want to round up all of those that we've been showing you. Let's go live to our kestrels. There's been lots of activity there. We've seen them mature, we've seen them fledge, and thankfully on this wet night, some of them have taken shelter back in the nest box. This is typical of these sorts of birds. They will go back to the nest because it's there that the adult very often brings the food when they return with it. So here you can see, quite well flighted already. I can't say they can fly perfectly, but their flapping flight is allowing them to move out and about around that barn, pursuing those adults before they arrive. They've been spending quite a bit of time on the roof of the barn, certainly when it was dry. Adults bringing the food there as well, as you can see. Lots of competition still. They're still fighting over that. You can see this bird mantling here, scarpering away from the other one that's after it. But they're not just protecting the food from their siblings. They've now got to fight off the competition from the local corvids, the jackdaws and the magpies. But it's great to see that little kestrel sticking it to the magpie there, chasing it away.
Is it plucky?
It's a plucky kestrel.
It should be so plucky, plucky, plucky.
Let's move on, let's move on.